Vivian Shin and Lucas West are the laughingstock couple of the upper crust. He crippled his legs chasing after a high-speed train for his unrequited love. I harbored a decade-long secret crush on my childhood friend Ethan but never dared confess. After marriage, we lived in mutual contempt. I mocked him, "Can't even stand up yet try chasing lovers like others?" He sneered, "Who's like some people? Too scared to confess?" When I reopened my eyes, I'd traveled back to high school. This time, I gathered courage to confess to Ethan. That night, the able-bodied teenager pinned me against the wall with red-rimmed eyes. "If you really choose him, do you think I'm dead?" I came across a viral video of a pure-hearted high school heartthrob publicly confessing to his childhood sweetheart. Clutching my tablet excitedly, childhood friends are the ultimate. When I turn 19, I'll find someone like this. Lucas closed his documents irritably. "Vivian, keep it down." With mocking clarity he added, "Couldn't even confess back then. What makes you think you'll succeed now?" My fingers froze on the screen. Nose stinging. Since childhood, I'd loved Ethan. Too terrified of ruining our friendship, I stayed silent until 5 years ago when he abruptly left for overseas corporate development. After my family's bankruptcy, I unexpectedly married Lucas, who already had his white moonlight. Thus ended a decade of unrequited love. Passing Lucas' wheelchair, I couldn't resist lightly kicking it. "Who's like some people blindly chasing lovers? Now can't even stand?" His face flushed crimson. In our 3 married years, we only coexisted peacefully in bed. Outsmarting him improved my mood dramatically. When classroom laughter startled me awake, I instinctively snapped, "Lucas, stop bothering me tonight." The room erupted. Vivian's gone mad, crushing on genius Lucas West. Through classroom windows, I saw Lucas' intact legs beneath his desk, wearing spotless white sneakers with peeling soles. Who could imagine this impoverished, quiet youth would become the most formidable tycoon in the business world? The first thing after time traveling back was naturally finding a sugar daddy, or at least earning some brownie points. During lunch in the cafeteria, I directly sat across from Lucas West. The dark-eyed teenager looked up, meeting my gaze. "What do you want?" I pulled out my phone and opened the campus forum, sliding it toward Lucas. The post read, "Campus belle Clara Smith confesses to academic prodigy Lucas West." Vivian Shin reportedly heartbroken, sobbing hysterically on lawn. The comments section had hundreds of replies. Earlier that morning, my high school memories became increasingly vivid. The first thing I recalled was this absurd post. Some creative classmate had fabricated this dramatic narrative. With that kind of imagination, they should be writing novels. During senior year's academic pressure, I'd been feeding stray cats behind the teaching building after school. Over time, the most skittish one started rubbing against my legs. When it got poisoned, I completely broke down while burying it, unaware of the romantic confession happening nearby. The girl confessing was my arch-nemesis and Lucas's lifelong muse, Clara Smith. After marrying Lucas, I learned from his PA that he chased Clara's departing train after hearing about her overseas wedding, causing his car accident. Even while comatose, he'd murmured Clara. But I knew Clara better than anyone. Behind her innocent face hid someone who reveled in making scholarship students compete for her attention. She'd once bragged to friends, "Watching these poor boys sink deeper for me gives such satisfaction." After explaining the forum incident, I thirstily grabbed the bottled water on the table. Lucas remained expressionless, finally commenting, "That's my water." Lucas desperately needed money, and I happened to be loaded. I hired him at premium rates for after-school tutoring, deliberately avoiding Clara. This time, I wouldn't let Lucas break his legs again. Even in our marriage where he never loved me, constantly bickering, he'd always treated me fairly. He knew I only married to save my father's failing company, yet agreed without hesitation. At the library, Lucas seemed unwell. His long lashes drooped as elegant fingers massaged his temples. Opening my textbook, I casually asked, "Do you like that girl who confessed?" Lucas lowered his eyes. Why ask? Just want to say, however much you love her, always prioritize your safety. My advice felt strangely bitter. His obsidian eyes remained calm yet inscrutable. Suddenly, I felt disgustingly manipulative. Maybe in my eyes, Clara isn't a good person. But what if Lucas thinks she's worth sacrificing everything for? The atmosphere turned awkward. I randomly pointed at a physics problem. Enough chit-chat. I can't solve this. Could you explain it to me? Lucas picked up his pen, glanced at the question, and immediately started writing on scratch paper. He patiently explained every formula needed for each step. Snowflakes drifted outside the window, his knuckles turning red from cold. Those slender, beautiful fingers bore several chilblains. All right. I get it now. I quickly snatched the pen from his hand and shoved a hand warmer into Lucas' arms. He froze momentarily. When hair covered, he only dared warm his hands over the outer layer. Was teenage Lucas always this obedient? Then the chatterbox Lucas Amerid must have been an imposter. After finishing one problem, I randomly pointed at another in the textbook. I can't solve this physics question either. Can you take a look, Lucas? While explaining, Lucas casually remarked, I thought you hated physics most. He immediately looked like he regretted it, adding, hear you complaining to friends every day. I lowered my gaze. I want to get into a foreign university. To find a friend. The pen in his hand suddenly stopped, knuckles whitening. Lucas frowned, his expression cooling. He set down the pen with icy detachment. I can't solve the rest. Liar. I'd just seen him finish it in 3 minutes. And you're the academic prodigy. What nonsense. Just like 10 years later. Lucas' temper flared unpredictably. I could never understand him. As tension hung in the air, my phone on the table buzzed twice. Ethan had texted Vivi. I'm returning the day after tomorrow. Pick me up. Ethan's return was for an outstanding alumni speech at our university. Over half the student body attended. Sitting in the front row, I watched the spotlighted figure on stage while girls around me whispered excitedly, Ethan's so handsome. Wonder if he's dating anyone? Don't even dream. They say the line of girls Ethan's rejected could stretch to France. With looks like that, who wouldn't develop feelings? My own crush mirrored these schoolgirl infatuations. Since childhood, Ethan had always been the brightest among our friends' academics. Looks, family background, character, excelling in every aspect. Nearly every girl I knew had confessed to him. I vividly remembered one incident when a girl from our group publicly declared her feelings. Ethan leaned back on the couch irritably, slinging an arm around me shoulders. Do you all approach me with ulterior motives? Seems only our Vivi truly sees me as family. Sipping juice, I guiltily bowed my head. Truth was, I harbored the most impure intentions of all. Just too timid to confess. Seeing the girl's heartbroken expression, I felt even more distressed. A failed confession meant losing even the qualification to remain friends. The sudden burst of applause jerked me back to reality. The speech had ended. Ethan walked toward me. I'm starving after talking so long, he said. We headed to the cafeteria together. During lunch, numerous gazes kept drifting to our table. I hated being scrutinized like this. Even while clearing our trays, people kept staring. Exiting the dining hall, I grumbled under my breath, too many people like you. Wherever we go, it's like being zoo gorillas. Though I'd whispered, Ethan caught every word. He suddenly asked, what about you? Vivi? Do you like it? My head snapped up in disbelief, meeting Ethan's smiling eyes. That intense gaze made me hallucinate. Could he possibly like me too? Distracted, I forgot I was descending steps. My foot slipped, sending me plummeting toward the concrete. The stairs were long, Had Ethan not grabbed me lightning fast, I'd be sipping congee in the ICU today. Only a scraped ankle and minor sprain. The school nurse applied antiseptic ointment, stinging so badly tears streamed down. After treatment, we stayed for observation. Ethan sat bedside reviewing my recent tests. Your grades improved fast. Any dream college? His eyes crinkled. Heard you like someone? He knew about our school forum. I shook my head awkwardly. No. Just rumors. About college, not sure yet. Closing my test folder, Ethan smiled faintly. Come to my university then. I'll wait for you. Vivian. Those words left me dizzy. Only when he stepped out to answer a call did I regain composure. What did Ethan mean? If earlier was my imagination, this couldn't be, right? As my thoughts tangled, an anxious voice sounded at the clinic entrance. Uncle Nurse. Lucas has terrible headaches, please check him. Clara appeared, followed by Lucas' voice, unnecessary. I'll rest through class. Clara sounded tearful, that won't do. Rustling fabric indicated the examination. While the nurse fetched medicine, Clara's shy whisper carried through curtains. Lucas, did you reject me because you like Vivian? Silence thickened. I clutched the bedsheet, pretending invisibility. After eternity, Lucas' hoarse reply came, no. Clara's lips curved triumphantly. Then I can rest easy. In that moment, I inexplicably tasted bitterness in my mouth. Its origin unclear even to myself. When my wound became infected and I developed a fever the next morning, Ethan helped me get medical leave. I stood dazed by the stairwell waiting for him to take me home. Between classes, Lucas emerged from a classroom down the hall clutching a math competition registration form. I kept my eyes fixed on the white bandage around my ankle until his tall shadow fell over me. His clear voice asked, Finals are coming up. Do you want me to come over after school to help you catch up? No thank you. I rasped, just as Ethan returned with the leave permit. He supported me as we walked away, putting increasing distance between us and the figure standing behind. This time around, our paths shouldn't cross anymore. Hopefully he took my previous advice to heart. When semester started, teachers assigned seats based on exam rankings. Lucas chose first, reclaiming his mid-row window seat. When my turn came, I selected the third row's far-right window overlooking courtyard cherry trees that would bloom beautifully in late March. I never initiated conversations with Lucas after that, only hearing about his math competition wins during assemblies. Though guaranteed early admission, he unexpectedly took the college entrance exams after receiving competition prize money, forfeiting his spot probably to attend the same university as Clara. Not that it concerned me anymore. On graduation day, the ringing final bell brought winds of freedom. Watching girls run into their boyfriends' arms outside exam halls, I suddenly realized I'd married Lucas without ever properly dating anyone. Vivi! Over here! Ethan stood waving with my family. The memory surfaced of my deskmate's divination attempts before exams. Vivi. This month's perfect for romance. 80% confession success rate. Was the universe hinting I should fix future regrets? Then I'll take a bold leap regardless of consequences. The result? After college entrance exams, my deskmate Emily and I spent several carefree days letting loose before remembering I still needed to confess my feelings. It was Ethan who texted first, want me to take you out tonight? Can't. High school reunion. I'll pick you up after. Okay. The sultry night found me wearing a black princess dress from yesterday's shopping trip with Emily, a style I'd never dared before. Entering the private room already buzzing with activity, I slipped into a corner. Emily pushed through the crowd, bumping my shoulder playfully. Sweet baby Jesus. I knew this dress would kill. Who knew our quiet uniform-clad girl packed this heat? Even I'm falling for you, forget your mystery guy. Is he from our class? Her rising voice drew curious glances. Lower your voice. I clamped my hand over her mouth. eyes darting until they locked with Lucas's across the room. Since when did he attend reunions? The memory of our last marital argument surfaced, his sneering too scared to confess. Pathetic. How did Lucas know I liked Ethan when I'd told no one? Not even Ethan himself? Before I could dwell, Emily pestered about my crush's school. Sipping fruit wine. I murmured, different school. 3 drinks later, enough liquid courage without full intoxication, I excused myself as dinner plans circulated. Hesitating outside about texting Ethan. A hand yanked me into the stairwell. Lucas. Not a stranger. My guard dropped despite his heavy alcohol scent and dark mood. Are you angry? I ventured. His bitter chuckle warmed my face. Asking 19-year-old Lucas West, or the 27-year-old version? My mind reeled as if clubbed. Had he also traveled back? The dim light revealed his ordinary tea couldn't disguise those bloodshot eyes, no youthful spark. Only aristocratic fury and corporate ruthlessness. My grip tightened on the handbag. Unprepared for this version of my husband. When did you time travel back? Just now. The moment I returned. I heard she was about to confess to someone else. A surge of restless anger built up in Lucas' chest with nowhere to vent. 19-year-old Lucas was furious. But 27-year-old Lucas was even angrier. I pursed my lips. Why are you mad? I didn't do anything wrong. We used to be married. But now we're not. Maybe we should both move on and, before I could finish. Icy lips silenced me. More bite than kiss. The metallic tang of blood bloomed between us. I whimpered in pain. Scrambling backward until cold walls trapped me. The man pinning me wouldn't budge. When he finally released me, my torn lip throbbed. Lucas! What gives you the right? His grip tightened on my arm as he hissed. Planning to be with that guy? Do I look dead to you? Silent tears streamed down my face as he demanded. Vivian. Do you hate me? Answer me. Right now? Absolutely. My wine-fogged mind couldn't comprehend why Lucas kept tormenting me despite having someone else. Before I could respond, his alcohol-laced mouth claimed mine again. In that cramped space, drunken desire ignited wildfire hot. Between bruising kisses, his ragged confession scorched my skin. Even if you loathe me, I can't stop. The night ended with my palm cracking across Lucas' face. After texting Ethan that family was picking me up, bitter regret settled. Lucas had sabotaged my confession by marking my mouth. My phone exploded with notifications upon waking. Legally, we're still married. Forget about Ethan. Marriage Law Article 1041, marital freedom and monogamy are protected. Article 1042, bigamy prohibited. No cohabitation while married. Vivian. Read this. 3 final messages glowed at 7:00 a.m. Awake? Still hurting? Come down. I brought ointment. Had he camped outside since last night? Peering through curtains, I spotted Lucas slouched on the courtyard bench, grabbing fresh soy milk. I headed downstairs. Drink this then go home to sleep. I thrust the cup at his stubbled face, the morning light etching exhaustion around his bloodshot eyes. I tried to convince myself. If I weren't worried he might actually die at the foot of the building, I wouldn't be this kind-hearted. He took the soy milk. I glanced sideways and noticed the wound at the corner of his mouth looked worse than mine. Was this guy a dog? Biting me while gnawing in himself too. I advised him, Lucas. 10 years later we'll both have other people in our hearts yet still settle for each other. Now that we've been given a second chance, should we really repeat that mistake? Lucas cut me off coldly. Stop fantasizing. I told you you're staying with me. I wanted to stomp my feet in frustration. How can you be so domineering? You're practically obsessed with Clara in your heart. Yet you won't let me pursue my own happiness? Lucas frowned. I don't like Clara. That day when you and Clara were in the school infirmary, I heard everything. You explicitly said you didn't like me. What right do you have to control me now? He hesitated. When had he ever said he didn't like Vivian? Suddenly understanding the misunderstanding, he clarified, Vivian. When I said not, I meant I'd reject her regardless of you. My headache that day made me too brief. Had I known you were listening? Circular logic gives me migraines. No one would believe that. I scoffed, rising to go home for a nap. Vivian. Lucas's voice stopped me. The breeze carried his next words with barely concealed tremor. My legs have healed. I can stand now. When we sent Ethan abroad, both our families were present. He smiled back at me during security check. Walking home, I realized something even before my rebirth. Ethan had said similar words to the original 18-year-old Vivian. That girl hadn't understood. Hadn't dared to. Maybe even drunk. I couldn't have confessed. Though physically regressed to high school, my mind remained 26. The teenage Vivian's heart raced around Ethan's handsome face, craving romance. The adult Vivian automatically calculated practicalities. Ethan's ambitions lay overseas seeking fortune, while I preferred staying close to home. He enjoyed extreme sports like rock climbing and racing. I liked gardening indoors. His gentle exterior had ruthless determination, while I am fundamentally different. The moment I reunited with him at the airport, I should have realized. Ethan Edwards and I weren't meant to be together. I'd probably already developed feelings for someone else without even noticing. As I exited the terminal, my shoulder bumped against a homeless man rushing past. Though hurried, he turned to mutter sorry. I forced a smile. No problem. His face seemed oddly familiar, yet I couldn't place where I'd seen him before until his retreating figure dissolved into the crowd. That night, I dreamed about my kidnapping experience from college. In the dream, I relived my junior year incident that police called perilous but which I'd only remembered as taking an unexpected nap. My memory held only fragments: being drugged, tied in a car's back seat, then waking unharmed at the hospital. Officers explained to my parents how two fugitives who'd evaded capture for years had chosen me as their hostage during their latest escape attempt. Had their plan failed, they'd have killed me without hesitation. Their fatal car crash had saved me, the collision miraculously sparing the back seat. Just as relief washed over me, the dream shifted. I saw the kidnapper's car from new angles, the passenger nervously checking mirrors, growling, "Big bro. Besides the cops, there's some damn sports car tailing us." The driver sneered, "We'll lose them after this stretch." As they approached an interchange, the pursuing sports car suddenly accelerated, smashing into them with brutal precision. Screams, sirens and engine roars deafened me. Through settling dust, I saw the sports car's driver, Lucas West. Blood streamed down his unconscious face as police swarmed the scene. Frozen as a spectator, I desperately wanted to help but couldn't move. The nightmare shifted again to hospital corridors. Lucas's personal assistant stood vigil as surgery lights dimmed. The doctor shook his head. "We couldn't save Mr. West's leg." I woke at 1 a.m., trembling, though desperate to dismiss this as a nightmare. Its visceral realism left my blood frozen in recollection. My hands trembled as I picked up my phone to type. "Lucas West. I need to see you." He replied instantly, "Get dressed and come downstairs in 20 minutes. No. Send me your location. I'm coming to you." The typing indicator blinked for a long time, as if he was wrestling with something. Finally, a pin dropped. When I found Lucas, he stood beneath a street lamp at the alley's mouth. His tall frame stood out starkly. Seeing me exit the cab, he began striding toward me. My throat tightened as I fought back tears. "In our previous life, how did your leg really get injured? It wasn't chasing some train you were saving me, weren't you?" Lucas didn't speak, his steps freezing mid-stride, clearly startled that I knew. "Were you never going to explain unless I asked?" This time he answered without hesitation. "No." Anger burned behind my eyes but words failed me. We stood locked in silence until Lucas suddenly frowned. He tugged me forward. My feet leaden with dread. Here. Lucas guided me to a park bench. Sit. From his shorts pocket emerged a bottle of bug spray. Following his gaze, I noticed the angry mosquito welts on my calves. He knelt, applying the ointment with meticulous care. Why do you carry this? My voice wavered. You said you were coming. This area's mosquito central. His fingers stilled on the applicator. I bought it at the corner store. After a prolonged silence, he added quietly, I didn't tell you because I didn't want pity-driven affection. I only want what's real. But knowing just makes me ache for you. I stared at my shoes. I don't do relationships out of guilt. The sharp inhale gave him away. From my lowered vantage point, I watched crimson creep up his neck. When the silence stretched unbearably, Lucas finally set down the spray. He settled beside me. College decisions come out tomorrow. Where do you want to go? Still deciding, but I'm leaning toward medical school. Lucas contemplated briefly before nodding. C-City then. Good schools for both our paths. And close to home. Results day brought a 40-point surplus over my estimates. The acceptance letter from C University's flagship medical program arrived in thick ivory parchment. Lucas accompanied me on move-in day. His own semester starting 2 days later. Paranoid about repeat kidnapping scenarios from our previous timeline, he'd secured an apartment near both campuses. Dorm during heavy course loads. Home base when schedules lighten. He'd decreed, already programming security codes into my phone. Even though I knew about his incredible business talent, I was still stunned to learn Lucas West had earned enough to buy a house in just one summer. On the way to school, I sat in the passenger seat stealing occasional glances at him. Lucas wore a black shirt today that slightly revealed his collarbone, accentuating his sharp jawline. I licked my dry lips. My inner admirer of beauty fully awakened. Yet something felt off. Lucas, I asked, are you trying to peacock today? At a red light. He turned to me. Haven't I always dressed like this at home? I realized he was right. Lucas had always been a shirt enthusiast, with most of his wardrobe consisting of black and white button-ups. Maybe I'd just grown too accustomed to his high school outfits. How had I never noticed how attractive he was before? On campus, he pulled our luggage with one hand and held mine with the other. True to form. That afternoon the campus forum exploded with posts about him. He's so hot I could spontaneously conceive. Seriously. Sock account? I know him, that's my brother's sister's husband. Finally living that campus novel NPC life we missed in high school. I forwarded the trending post to Lucas with a sarcastic sticker, look how popular you are. 10 minutes later, he bounced it back. The updated post read, everyone disperse. He's from the neighboring university and already taken. Attached was a screenshot of Lucas Weeboar couple's selfie with the caption perfect match. And the girl's gorgeous too. Knew someone that handsome would be taken if not by a girlfriend then a boyfriend. Just confirmed I'm destined to be the shocked commenter in romance novels. By military training season, everyone knew I was dating Lucas from the neighboring campus. When it came to scheming, I could never outmatch him. During National Day break, Lucas saw me off at the high-speed railway station. After arriving home, I texted, made it safely. Happy holidays. He instantly replied, Happy National Day. Baby. Sitting on the sofa, I realized something in our previous life together. He'd always sent me home for every holiday except Valentine's and our anniversary. Claiming work commitments. I used to think he couldn't stand me, but now I sensed he'd been hiding something all along. After telling my parents, I bought the earliest ticket to City C. The two cities weren't too far apart, just 3 hours by bullet train. Upon arriving, I hid my shoes and slipped into the closet, peeking through the slats at the living room. 10 minutes later, the door rustled as Lucas West returned. He set down his things, opened his laptop, then moved to boil water in the kitchen. I texted him, "Lucas, what are you doing right now?" Through the closet cracks. I watched him prepare instant noodles before replying, "Having a feast with friends downtown." The man was literally made of lies. "Then turn around," I typed. He froze mid-motion, actually glancing over his shoulder before chuckling bitterly at his own gullibility. Quietly emerging, I tiptoed toward him. Before I could startle him, Lucas pinned me against the couch. "How'd you know?" I gasped. He nodded toward the mirror across the bedroom. "Why'd you never spend holidays with me before?" His smile looked painfully forced. "I've been on my own since middle school after family stuff. Never learned how to celebrate properly. Didn't want to bore you." His voice carried that careful tenderness of someone who'd learned affection through cracked porcelain. Swallowing the lump in my throat, I countered, "Then why aren't you out with friends now? Working through dinner like this?" "Vivian," he rasped, exhaustion seeping through. "I'm racing to build our future." Guiding his head onto my lap, I murmured, "Rest first," when my stomach growled loudly. No lunch plus hours on the train, of course I was starving. Lucas's shoulders shook with suppressed laughter. Blushing furiously, I tried silencing him, but he grabbed his jacket. "Grocery run?" Post-dinner, Lucas moved toward his programming setup. I clung to him, kissing until his breathing turned ragged, then pushed him away. "Go work. Later," he growled, undoing cufflinks. Suddenly, calloused hands lifted me up. "Baby," he rasped against my neck. "Wear that little black dress." "Huh? What little black dress?" I blinked in confusion. The next second, Lucas let out an awkward chuckle. "You did look good in that dress." The word "good" practically came through gritted teeth. My eye twitched. Are we really never getting past that incident? That night, Lucas never ended up working on his code.